Support for Central Florida Public Media comes from Orange County Library System, offering enriching programs and resources for seniors at 15 locations throughout the county, with hands-on workshops, expert-led seminars, and more. A complete list of programs is available at ocls.org/senior/events.
Uncertainty in Central Florida's Haitian community after Supreme Court's TPS ruling. You're listening to The Wrap from Central Florida Public Media. I'm Brendan Byrne. A Supreme Court ruling clears the way for the Trump administration to end humanitarian and legal protections for migrants in the U.S. who escaped violence and disasters in Haiti. Now, the 150,000 with temporary protected status in Florida are facing possible deportation after living here for years.
I actually spoke with a local pastor today, and he told me his church was empty on Sunday because his church is mostly TPS holders, and that just broke his heart.
How the community here in Central Florida is bracing for the future after this ruling. That's ahead on The Wrap. The big stories this week from Central Florida Public Media. But first, these headlines. Florida election officials are disputing Republican St. Cloud State Representative Paula Stark's account of her efforts to qualify for this year's elections in her ongoing lawsuit. Central Florida Public Media's Sam Stockbridge has more on the state's latest filing.
Stark says her treasurer submitted all the required paperwork less than half an hour before the deadline, but a clerk returned one form by mistake, preventing her from qualifying. But the state's latest filing says that couldn't have happened. All 4 clerks and the head of election records say they didn't return any forms during that window, even if they were obviously incomplete. The state also says it's too late to put her on the ballot. County elections offices are mailing out the first batch of primary ballots for active military and overseas voters. Stark's name isn't on them. Stark declined to comment because the suit is still pending. If she doesn't prevail, her seat will flip to a Democrat, and the primary for that seat will be open to all voters, regardless of party. Sam Stockbridge, Central Florida Public Media.
A heat dome is locking in high temperatures across the country heading into the 4th of July. WUSF's Jessica Mazzaros tells us how Floridians will fare and how to stay safe.
The heat wave spans from the central U.S. to the East Coast through the weekend, with afternoon temperatures in the 90s and 100s. The biggest impacts are expected for many other states like Indiana, Tennessee, and Virginia. But meteorologists with Climate Central say Florida's peak heat is forecast for Friday, with feel-like temps in the triple digits.
Physiologically, I don't care how healthy you are, your body's not designed to really maintain that and give the own cooling. You have to help the body.
Cheryl Holder is a doctor and founder of Florida Clinicians for Climate Action. She says, stay hydrated, wear light clothing, and stop what you're doing if you feel cramping, nausea, or weakness. It's been 2 years since Florida banned local governments from setting heat protections for their outdoor workers. Holder says she's looking for the long-term health effects of that decision.
What we will monitor is the chronic level of dehydration on the kidneys. Does that mean that in 5-10 years, like what we saw in the farms in Nicaragua and other places in Central America, worsening of kidney function and chronic kidney disease?
For now, she says, her organization will continue educating clinicians and politicians on heat illness. On Friday, about 75% of the state will experience heat made at least 3 times more likely by human-caused climate change. I'm Jessica Mazzaros in Tampa.
NASA could look at other options for moon supply delivery if Blue Origin can't get back to flying in time for the agency's ambitious moon-based timeline. The company says it has begun repairs to its Cape Canaveral launch pad that was damaged during a rocket explosion in May. Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket and Blue Moon lander were tapped to deliver hardware to the lunar surface that would begin building NASA's moon base. But NASA wants the hardware on the moon by mid-2027. If it anticipates any delays, NASA's administrator Jared Isaacman says the agency could look for other launch providers.
NASA does not sit in our hands and wait for, hardware to show up, that we are going out and driving outcomes.
NASA says it's working closely with Blue Origin as it rebuilds. The company says it's using a new design for the pad. Blue Origin CEO says an investigation into the cause of the explosion is still ongoing. These stories and more on our website. Visit cfpublic.org. When Paul Revere wasn't making his famous The British Are Coming midnight ride, he was just a regular guy who smith silver.
We're celebrating the founding fathers and the people who were really important to all that occurred for us to be who we are now. And so it's kind of nice to be able to see that these people were people.
A look at Winter Park's Morse Museum and its ties to the 4th of July. That's on Spotlight. Get it where you get this podcast. A Supreme Court ruling clears the way for the Trump administration to end humanitarian and legal protections for migrants in the U.S. who escaped violence and disasters in Haiti. Now, the 150,000 with temporary protected status in Florida are facing possible deportation after living here for years. That uncertainty is causing fear in that community here in Central Florida. Orlando attorney Ann Pierville is director of the Haitian Lawyers Association. She spoke with Engage's Sharon Stone about those fears and how she's preparing for the future.
It's heartbreaking because, we knew that this would cause that type of fear and chilling effect in the community of people that are just so fearful they're not even going to leave their house. And we knew this would come because people are realizing that they are about to lose their access to work, their access to a driver's license, food insecurity, how are they going to pay their bills next month? And a lot of people are super scared. I actually spoke with a local pastor today, and he told me his church was empty on Sunday because his church is mostly TPS holders, and that just broke his heart. There was no one there. It was empty. And he was just asking me, what can he do? What can he tell people? He was just very surprised at this response. We are seeing this and we are hearing this from the community. People are so scared and people don't know what to do. They don't know what's next.
What do you tell people like that pastor who want to know, what do I tell people?
So I tell him, with everything that's going on, we need people to prepare for what's next. We need people to prepare for if they do, unfortunately, have to leave their housing, their vehicles, their bank accounts. Do you have the legal framework in case you do have to leave? Do you have documentation already prepared? Do you have a trusted family member or a friend that has access to these documents and to your bank account? Do you have a power of attorney prepared? Do you already have guardianships for your children, educational guardianships, if they're going to be enrolled into school? And so these type of things are super important right now. And this is what we want to get the community focused on. I've said it before, we are going to ensure that we're educating the community. And so as a director and a board member of the Haitian Lawyers Association, we are mobilizing our attorneys that are statewide to go to the local Haitian churches, to go to nonprofits and community centers so we can educate. We already have a free legal help line where you can call and get a free legal consultation. We are going to start offering legal clinics. And so we have some great pro bono attorneys and great members in the organizations that are going to help us prepare these documents for individuals that need them.
What are those next steps? What kind of decisions are families suddenly having to make?
So we know for individuals that live in Florida, and we are in Central Florida, a lot of individuals, their driver's license were renewed until July 1st. And so we know a lot of the community is wondering, how do I get to work tomorrow? And that is a big question that a lot of people have. We are stressing to the community, it is very important to not drive without a driver's license. So that's number one, transportation. How do people get to work tomorrow? Number two, people are wondering, well, what do I do with the assets? What do I do with my mortgage? What do I do with the money in the bank account that I have? What do I do if I have a small owned business? What do I do with my children if I want them to stay in the United States, if I have to step away? What do I do if I have a partner in a different state? Child custody agreements. So those type of questions are what we're getting from the community. And then the churches are asking us, what do we do next Sunday? Should we have an open service or should we just go completely virtual because people are so fearful? Also with food access, how do we get food to people if people are scared to leave their homes?
Can you speak to the people who may be thinking, this doesn't affect me? I'm wondering, where do people with TPS fit into Central Florida's economy, for example? Or what would happen if thousands of Haitian workers lost this authorization?
hmm So we know that with TPS ending, if, tomorrow all Haitian TPS workers didn't go to work, our hotels will be affected, our resorts will be affected. We know our amusement parks will be affected. We know that our nursing homes and senior living, we know that our hospitals will be affected. That's just fact. The makeup of these institutions are Haitian workers. They are our nurses, our doctors, our educators, our social workers. They work in hospitality and tourism. It is very heartbreaking to realize what is happening because it's not just going to affect the tourism. Our prices are going to go up. There are farm workers as well. Food will increase, and we're going to see how it's going to affect the economy because the Haitian community is such a big part of Central Florida's community. We have a thriving Haitian community with over 40,000 individuals. And then we have the mixed status families where we have a lot of families with individuals that may be TPS holders, individuals that are U.S. citizens, green card holders. So it is going to affect the economy. It is going to affect the makeup of our community, and it's going to hurt, unfortunately, to see these individuals be unable to work.
You've lived and worked in this community for a long time. What worries you most about this moment?
I think what worries me is people not knowing what to do and being so fearful, people staying in their house and not getting the resources that they need, and they're frozen and they don't know what to do, or they do know, but they're scared to get that help because of what's happening and what it is going to and currently doing to their mental health and their health. Is just very worrisome because we know the fact is Haiti is not prepared to receive thousands of individuals right now. And so where do these people go if they do return to Haiti?
That was Ann Peerville, an Orlando attorney and director of the Haitian Lawyers Association, speaking with Engage's Sharon Stone. Hear more on this topic. Get the Engage podcast wherever you get this podcast. That's it for The Wrap this week. This podcast is produced by Central Florida Public Media with editorial assistance this week from Joe Burns. I'm Brendan Byrne. This is The Wrap.